Now.
Now,
This
hey!
is the first. Good evening. I'm Eric, and to my right is Dennis.
Oh God, you don't remember which is your
And
right?
we, how you're seeing it on the screen here. So we are living in New London, Connecticut, and we have done Atlantic broadband TV shows for 12 years, let's say 14. And I have been having a show called In My Opinion, and Dennis has a show called Talk Talk.
Talk.
And it's normally a call in show, and we talk about local issues, national issues, what really ever you want to talk about. And hopefully, people will call in, even though we have found out really recently because of how digital age has evolved that we don't get a lot of phone calls anymore. So I have been kidding around saying I thank you to my 3 listeners, which I know we have more because Atlantic Broadband, the studio is in Waterford, Connecticut, but it goes to like 19 different communities or maybe more all over Connecticut. So this and what you're going to hear tonight is what Dennis and I normally do. We go back and forth and complain about what we don't like in Connecticut
Complain.
and what we do like. So I'm just going to let you go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm Dennis. Really, I really am Dennis. And the venue we do on TV is really a lot different. I mean, the amount of area that Atlantic Broadband covers is a lot, but not with what Keith's um, thing he has going here, for lack of a better word. So this is new for us, and I'm going to tell you folks, like I told the people when I first started on the TV thing, was that the show is going to be only as good as the input we get from you. I mean, we can sit up here and throw out all kinds of shit, and it might not mean nothing, but for us to have fun with it, we need you to help us out, and we want to help you out because some of you out there might not really know what's going on, especially if you're a Democrat. You probably don't know what the hell's going on. You're just listening to a bunch of bullshit that people are telling you. But I don't want to get into picking sides yet. Maybe later.
Definitely later.
Yeah. But so, anyways, where do you want to start out?
I had
And don't be afraid to call. Come on, not all of these can be pussies. Just call in when you want.
I wanted to start with our second or junior senator, Chris Murphy, who is really the problem with Connecticut is it is not equal. It is a Democratic state, and we in New London have been Democratic town, city, if you want to call it, for basically 50, 60 years. And thanks to the Democrats, the city of New London has been run into the ground.
And it's been run by the same clique of people for that many years.
And the people in New London just do not get it. They keep voting the same way year after year after year, and it doesn't get any better. Even though you will hear arguments that it is getting better, but in southeastern Connecticut, New London is, or was as of last year, the highest taxed city in southeastern Connecticut. And we have always been ripping the politicians here in New London. And my favorite saying for the New London
You might want to write this
city
down.
is you can't fix stupid. And which is amazing because people who have come up to me in the stores and other areas, they definitely have agreed with me that you can't fix stupid. So I wanted to start with Connecticut itself, where you definitely can't fix stupid because we've got 2 senators who are so off the wall and are so far left. It really is sickening. This state could be run very well again if we could get people just to, even if it was 50-50 in this state, and it's just not. So
The only way it's going to happen is if the state, if it could, because I don't think it can, But if the state went bankrupt and people finally realized that, hey, let's give the other side at least a chance and see what they can do. But these people in this town, they don't even want to do that. I don't know what magical horse they're waiting for because there aren't any, and they just stay with the same thing. I don't know if they're afraid to make a change. They can't all have it great. I mean, we see it. There's a lot of people here that don't have it great. There's a small group of people that are well set. They have their little group together that they like, and they run the town. I think there's a name for that, but I don't know what it is.
Click.
Thank you. That's the
Stupidity.
voice, folks.
Stupidity.
Chromies.
It's
Chromies.
cronies. Yes.
Cronies.
You know, a good example. For the past, how many years have they been trying to get the Coast Guard Museum in downtown New London now? They haven't even broken ground.
Which time?
Well, how many? When did they first start? Was it like 2002 or something like that?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay, the New London Coast Guard Museum, which was supposed to be a national museum, a few people want to put it in downtown New London, and it's a huge glass building that it's very modern, does not go with the aesthetics of the city of New London, because New London is a very old New England town, and we have a park area called Trumbull Park, Fort Trumbull, which you had the Civil War battles there, and across in Groton, across the Thames in Groton at Fort Griswold. And this is a wide open area. It'd be a perfect area to put the National Coast Guard Museum. So in order to break ground, they need $100 million. And who's guaranteed the $20 million?
The state of
The state of Connecticut, which is broke.
And that doesn't even go to the museum.
No, that
That's
goes
just
to
for a bridge over the road,
right.
which takes longer to get to the other side than if you just walk across the street.
You're talking.
So you tell me what people
You're
are
talking
gonna
about the
do.
pedestrian bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That was
what it's
voted down
for.
twice by the people of New London, and now they're still going. It's only going to benefit really one company, which is the Crosstown Ferry,
Oh.
and they've got a sweetheart of a deal when it comes to taxes compared to what the regular
only
citizens
taxes.
pay.
From what my understanding is that they're supposed to, they're getting a new, what do they call it, place where you come in, you get your tickets and all that.
Ticketmaster?
No, not Ticketmaster.
No.
It's like you walk in the train station almost. It's the place where you go and you
Oh,
sit and you
okay,
wait
yeah.
and whatever. First of all, I got to explain something, folks. I'm really 108 years old, and so I can't. A lot of things I go to say go in this ear, and then they get lost. They don't even come out the other side. They're just stuck in there somewhere. So you're gonna have to hang in there with me, and if you don't, I don't care.
That's it. Yeah.
But anyways, to get back what Eric was saying, there's a lot more to this story with the Coast Guard Museum. Now, I'm on the other side of the fence when it comes to this museum. I think downtown is a great place for this museum, but they wanted it at Fort Trumbull. And you remember what happened before the museum came to Fort Trumbull?
They ran
He's
the people out of
107.
brain freeze now. Running the people out of who lived in Fort Trumbull. It was a court case for
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain, and
I'm sure you folks
amazing how this city and the state of Connecticut screwed all the people at Fort Trumbull who lived down there. They took their homes away, and
They robbed them.
It was a book called The Little Pink House, and then it was made into a movie. The movie was not filmed here, but the book was good. I heard the movie really wasn't very good at all.
we must not be doing too good because my monitor just said
Well,
it was
hit
going
it.
to sleep.
They haven't
button.
done anything with the
He
land.
hasn't done anything on it. That's
United
why.
FM.
Now United FM again. Yes.
Okay, I will when I need it.
So, eminent domain was a court case, and it took a few years, and we lost. So
Go ahead.
now it's been empty.
Yeah.
And
See,
the city of New London has lost, I don't know how many millions of dollars because
We lost
For-
so much
for
money
property
in taxes.
taxes.
You have a group of people that are supposed to be taking care of the city. When they get elected, they're there, as you all know out there, at least some of you hopefully know, that they're there to do your bidding. Not their own bidding, mind you, but you're bidding. But if you don't get off your ass and tell them what you're looking for, what you want to do, then they're going to do their own thing. And if you get screwed in the process, they don't seem to care. Now, Fort Trumbull, everybody thought it was a great idea. Maybe it would have been. But the fact of it is, once eminent domain went down, it got what's the word? Stigmatized? Stigmatized. Nobody wanted to touch that property. And it is probably some of the most beautiful property in the city of New London. But
it's been empty for
beginning of 2000.
so
Roland was governor when that whole thing started.
So it's been a good 15, maybe 20 years now. No tax money. Then Pfizer came in, took a big piece of property there, and screwed the city of New London after 10 years. So they moved out. They got tax abatements for the 10 years. After that, they had planned this. So it's amazing how the city continues to get screwed by companies, and it's still getting screwed by companies.
I want to get back for a second here to the leaders of New London. They go back probably maybe as long as the fort's been here. Well, maybe not that old. But anyways, when this whole thing started, we had Pfizer's come in, and they wanted all the housing and stuff that was next to it. Because I got to be honest with you folks, Fort Trumbull area, when Pfizer's came in, was not the prettiest sight in the world. It was a place for families with their homes. You had a lot of people living there that had been there, were probably born there, but it wasn't the most attractive place to look at. So of course Pfizer's doesn't want to be next to a place that looks run down. So they wanted it changed. They wanted it so they could bring big shots in and give them a place to stay, and everything will look beautiful, like walking into a bubble, and everything around there doesn't exist. So Roland, from my understanding, put up $750 million to help redo Fort Trumbull area. But he wanted the money to go to a certain place because he didn't trust the people that were running New London. What's that tell you? You can't figure that out. Well, that's why we got the problems we have.
Well,
but I don't want to spend the whole hour
not the
on
whole
that.
thing there, but and Fort Trumbull, if you come to New London, go down the Fort Trumbull area. It really is
beautiful.
it's a beautiful area, but it's empty, and it's a good. We had a major the Sail Fest situation back in 2000, 2002, where a regatta where old ships came in, and the place was swamped. You could have concerts down at Fort Trumbull, the fireworks, which is an annual thing with Sail Fest in New London. That's probably our biggest situation in New London. That it doesn't do anything for the downtown store owners. It does everything for the people who come in and hawk their wares and sell their food. But it's a big situation, and it's been going on for years and years. And it's always the weekend after July 4th weekend. So Fort Trumbull, after they did this Sail Fest situation that year, has not had anything. They could have stuck with having concerts. They could have a lot of gatherings, but not New London, because New London is run by the wrong people. And it's been that way today. Now we've got a lot of building going on around here, apartments, and because Electric Boat, General Dynamics took over the Pfizer area, and we have too many apartments now, building apartments, and just a lot of people have for rent, and they've got duplexes and that they rent out their place, and people think that because New London is between New York and Boston, that they can get these very high rents, and they are high rents, don't you think?
Well, yeah, some of them are ridiculous. They're redoing the whole downtown area, and the average price for a one bedroom, even anyways.
A nice one bedroom.
Yeah, well, yeah, even that. The average cost is around $1,500 a month. And I don't know how many people are trying to rent right now. I don't think they're getting very far if they are.
I don't know. What was the building that was built the Thames. They converted that house. It's right on Bank Street. Where'd you?
Harbor Towers.
Harbor Towers.
Yeah.
It was that was supposed to be high end, and all the condominiums or town there that were for purchase were expensive. But they found out that they couldn't sell the back condominiums that don't face the water because it looks over not the nicest part of New London. So the
People don't see.
builders they ended up giving up that
Yeah.
whole building.
They donated 20 condos to who was it? Yale
Was it the New
University?
Haven something or something?
University, I
Yeah,
believe.
and
Yale University.
now they're looking to rent it out. There's a sign they're looking to rent. So it's just another thing in New London that has not done well.
You know, we've been known to bash people in this city. In general, we don't like because unfortunately, some of these people are really nice people, but when they get into an elected position, as throughout the whole country, they lose something in the process. They forget where they come from, or they think they know better than the people that voted them into office, and that's a lot of where they're going wrong. Eric started out talking about Chris Murphy. Well, the other bozo is Blumenthal. Now, these guys. Well, I don't know about Murphy, but I know Blumenthal has more money than God.
Well, his family owns, or his wife's family owns, the Empire State Building.
Yeah, plus other stuff.
Oh yeah, so there's at least $70 million there, and then he lied to get into office. Said he was a Vietnam veteran, and he never served in Vietnam. And
I don't know.
People still vote this bozo in.
But when you have that much money, as Blumenthal has, not Blumenthal. Who am I
Yeah,
thinking?
Blumenthal's family. Richard Blumenthal.
Okay.
And then, but he was the Attorney General for how many years in the state of Connecticut too?
I thought he did kind of decent as an Attorney General, but I'll probably get.
Well,
some
when you
calls
become
on
a
that.
senator, now you get to be corrupt like all the other senators
just-
in the country.
Just because you have that kind of money, doesn't mean you're right about everything.
No.
Sometimes you lose the sense of reality because there's nothing you have to do hard to get whatever you want. I mean, you just probably raise your finger and somebody's there, to get you what you need. I mean, how does he justify, like, if he wants people to stay out of work even longer than what they have been, what does he care? Now, if he's going to try to tell us that, well, I care because I don't want people to, to be dying because of this virus, they have to stay home. Well, that's might be some truth to that to a point. But I'm sure if he's staying home, his lifestyle at home is a hell of a lot different than mine or yours at home.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And somebody brought up to me today, they said, everybody thinks it's great staying home. Even if they give you some money to stay home, it may be great. But if you're in a home where, one spouse wants to kill the other, the worst thing you can do is stick them in a house 24/7, day after day, because somebody's going to get knocked
Well,
out.
and the other situation
knocked
is
up.
Yeah.
Or that too.
Well, figure out in like 9 months there's going to be a whole bunch of a new baby boom, and a lot of all these new babies. I just hope they don't call their kids Charmin and Scott. So it's
Or
But-
Corona.
Yeah,
or Corona. Yeah, or
Corona.
Corona. Yeah, it's amazing some of the names that these people call their kids today. But when you've got people like Blumenthal, and then Nancy Pelosi, who tells people before this whole virus really should have been locked down, and Trump did the best he could. I think Trump has done a great job. I really do.
Well,
But what
somebody
I
was-
don't agree with everything he says. Just because I'm wearing the Trump hat, I would never vote for a bozo like Biden. But and first of all, the man can't even think straight. He can't complete a sentence. But Pelosi lives in her gated community. She doesn't even have to see family if she wants. The house is huge. But on the other side, Chris Murphy couldn't afford to pay his mortgage when he was running for the first term for the Senate. And he got a sweetheart of a deal when he got elected.
Well, they were
Now-
looking for favors.
Well, and he still is, but according to the numbers, that this man has been in office, I don't know, 8 years now, 7
Has he?
years,
That
and
long?
yeah, what's his second term he's in? But
Oh God.
he's got a negative income. I don't know what he's doing with his money, but what surprises me more than anything else is that this man does not even live in Connecticut any longer.
Now, if anybody out there knows the laws on this, if there is any, how can you be a senator of one state but you live in another? How is that possible?
It's obviously,
How do you know what the people that voted you in want
Yeah.
if you're living in another state?
well, I want to go through what Chris Murphy said because of the coronavirus. And this is a quote. The reason we're in the crisis today is not because of anything China did. It's not
Well, what do you
anything
think
the
they
WHO did. It's because of what this president did. Exonerating China for this pandemic is shameful. And what I want to tell Chris Murphy, and I know he's not listening to this because, first of all, he's an asshole. He's absolutely wrong. And you take the virus for where it was created, or it started in Wuhan, China. Now, if you do your history, the Spanish flu in Spain, you've got the Ebola virus, you had there's a Russian flu, you had all these different flus, and it's because of where they were basically started. So calling it the Wuhan flu is, I don't really care about that. If you want to call it that, fine. It's another form of flu. But for what Chris Murphy said is so off the mark, and it just shows you the ignorance of this senator. And I would love to have this guy arrested. Why was he going to Iran?
Arrested. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
He did that trip to Iran. Who gave him the right to go to Iran? I thought Iran was just because he's a senator?
I think there's some kind of law on the books about any elected official going to a communistic country, talking as if you're representing our country without some kind of approval before you go. And I think you need the approval from the president
Well,
in order to
and
do
he
it.
didn't.
No,
And
they
so,
want him to do it.
this
it's
man
beyond
is
the law.
so below everybody. And then again, the stupid people of Connecticut keep voting people like this in. Why can't we get decent representation that serves everybody? I'm not saying you have to be a Democrat or a Republican. Why can't we have 50-50? And that's what I think.
Because that
certain things need to change.
unfortunately, that wouldn't be the way our system in this country is set up. It's not set up like that. But look at it this way. Okay, I ran for city council twice. You
Right.
ran for Board of Ed,
Right, once.
Okay, now.
And I am so
when
glad I didn't get in.
well, they're probably happy you didn't too.
It's-
But when we ran, we knew our chances were so slim
right.
because
It's
we're
New London.
We're I'm Republican. What do
I
you-
ran as a Republican, but
Okay.
I'm an independent.
Okay, so so why? Who do you think that's a Republican, unless they look at it as a challenge, is going to throw their hat in to beat anything in Connecticut? When Connecticut has got to be 80%. Well, don't quote my percentages fact because
But
I'm going to tell you they're not.
Sounds good.
But it's run by Democrats. This state is so Democratic. Connecticut will end up being the last Democratic state in this country if we were to get rid of parties. I bet my last dollar on it. They will go down before they give it up.
This,
And I don't know why.
this state used to be one of the most prosperous states in the country. And it's not anymore. We're way on the bottom for a lot of things. And I can't see it getting any better. I think we were the only state that had not recovered from the 2008 recession.
Well, if they don't do something quick, it's going to get pretty hairy again. I mean, it's. I don't understand. We're kind of going to go off.
What I
Kilter
don't
again.
understand is we get, because I look at the letters to the editor in our, I'm going to have to say kiddingly, our wonderful newspaper, the Day, which used to be called the New London Day. The Day is a very far left newspaper who loves to beat up, I'm going to say 95% of the letters to the editor
Oh, of
are
course.
anti-Trump, and you've got people like this Robert Strict from Norwich, who
Notch.
make
Hodge.
not. He's saying that the president, his administration, is waited until January 2020 to restrict international travel, which they did. But what he doesn't say, and he keeps thinking that we waited too long. It was far too slow in controlling it. But when Trump did the restriction international for airlines, around that same time, Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, dumbass that she is, toured San Francisco's Chinatown to send this message: we should come to Chinatown. Precautions have been taken by our city. We know that there is concern, but Chinatown is with hope. Let's come in and hug and keep friends together. And given it's just amazing.
She's going to actually go to Chinatown and hug somebody? Are you kidding me?
No, because she'd have to put a face on. And she's got to take that plastic,
I think she
all
has.
that plastic surgery she's had done
I
and
think she
fix
has
it up.
this, she has this valve right underneath her left ear, and when she's getting ready to go out, she hooks a little air hose to it,
Yeah.
and it blows up, and her face becomes normal.
Must be.
Yeah, but when
Must-
she doesn't have it on,
Oh,
my God.
It shrivels up along with Chuck Schumer.
and this woman is whacked.
She is whack.
You know, she did an interview, from what I'm understanding. So if I'm wrong, somebody call me in and tell me I'm an idiot. I'm okay with that. But she did an interview on a show or something from her home, where she's standing, talking about people being hungry, about people not having jobs and stuff like this, and yet she's standing in front of refrigerators that cost thousands upon thousands of dollars, and she's eating ice cream that probably costs $1,000 a quart. And she's telling the people about how bad it is. Are you freaking kidding me?
Why can't she take some of the homeless from San Francisco?
They went to her house, you know.
Did they?
Yeah,
I
and
would
she had them arrested.
She had him arrested. What a hypocrite!
And a bunch of illegals,
Unbelievable.
a bunch of illegals went to her house, and she had them escorted off her property.
Okay.
I don't know how they got over that
Yeah,
wall
but-
around her house.
Getting back to the comments that the news, the liberal biased lying media has been complaining about how slow that Trump has been with all of this. But I have an email and with pictures that what did Obama do during the 2009-2010 swine flu epidemic? Do you know what he did?
What do you do?
He played golf.
Who did?
Obama.
Obama.
Well, he was trying to learn how to play.
That's all he said. This man goes around saying, "You didn't earn that. You didn't do that." But now this guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
So in the same way, you could say, you didn't earn to be president. You didn't build nothing.
What's
You
up
didn't
with the
do
mask?
anything." The mask, I just want to tell people, if you got to wear a mask, you might as well have some fun with it. Now, I saw a guy wearing a mask, and he had something on it that I can't really repeat off the air. But, you know, people go crazy with these things. And I know someone that happens to be in this room that has an issue with people making up their own mask.
No. Okay. All right. Here's my situation.
You better come on now.
Okay. If I can't go into a store and get food for myself because I need to have a mask on my face, then this country has gone full retard. Okay?
This is the real key.
If I cannot go into a store and feed myself and get rejected service, rejected the ability to grab food to feed myself to sustain my life, then screw you.
So you're going to have your wife do it.
So I'm so frustrated with this mask thing because let me tell you something. The mask does not. It may slow down the spread of COVID-19. This is being said by the CDC. Okay, first they said the masks are useless. Then they say, oh, it might slow it down. Well, how does a mask that's designed to stop a wood chip going to stop something that's 0.1 microns in size? What's 0.1 microns in size? That's the size of the COVID-19 virus, which is
This,
a billionth of the size of a wood chip, which those masks are designed to stop. They're designed to stop a spray, like if you spit. If you're in a hospital and you're working on someone doing surgery, the mask is designed when you're talking to stop your spit. It does not. It is not designed to stop an aerosol, and that's when you sneeze in your mask. That aerosol is going to pass through that mask, go into the air, sit in the air for 10 minutes, just because they say the COVID-19 virus can sit in the air for 10 minutes. Okay, can hover around as an aerosol. Is your mask going to stop that aerosol? No.
And it sits on your mask for 7 days.
And then I see these. I'm sorry, I hate to use this word retard, but I see these retards in their cars with their mask on by themselves. What are you doing?
Well, they don't want their car to get infected.
What are you doing? You're in your car by yourself. Why are you wearing a mask? So.
See, it don't
And-
take much to get Keith going.
And then I see
get-
these
right.
I see these idiots on Instagram, on Facebook. I see these idiots. Look at
are you ready for this country?
look at me. I'm special. I have a designer mask. I have a SpongeBob on my mask. I'm special. Look at me.
Dennis has a whatever.
What is that?
What is that, by the way?
I had it upside down.
Can you show that to the camera?
It's a clown face.
No, it's not a clown face.
What is it?
It's a
You look like a-
one-eyed. It's a one-eyed cyclops that's into the Rolling
Can I see
Stones.
that for a minute?
Into the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, you ever see the Rolling Stones logo where they got their tongue hanging out?
Yeah.
This is what he's got.
Oh, okay. This
So
You know, folks, when
it's not about
This is
it's
being-
not about this. It's not about designing your mask. It's about the fact that the government has had nothing but severe overreach in this situation, has done fear mongering the crap out of people to believe that this is going to stop COVID-19. It is not. Pull your head out of your asses, for God's sakes.
You know what it's like? It's like when they would run out of medicine and they would give somebody a pill and say, this is such and such a pill, and in 5 minutes you're going to feel no pain whatsoever, and they actually believe it, and it turns out to be a sugar pill.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
placebo
that's what
effect.
it's
placebo.
Placebo.
It's like a
Yeah.
placebo effect.
Yeah, it's
What I don't understand is when they were saying on the White House briefings, how, well, every death that there is, we're going to blame it on COVID.
Every debt?
Every
Yeah.
death.
Oh, every debt.
Ladies and gentlemen, your designer mask is going to save your life.
Well, I'm glad I got mine designed. Because I'm going to be the only one sitting here pretty soon. Because you guys don't have no designers.
well. This is why people are going stir crazy in their houses
This
right
is-
now. They want there's protests. Georgia, by the way,
Open
is opening
Connecticut.
up tomorrow.
Open Connecticut.
There's other states. I mean,
Do you realize they're going to shut down the beaches? How many millions of dollars?
No, they're starting to open them. Florida's going to open theirs, I think, in a week.
No,
Georgia's going to
No,
open
the
them within a
governor,
day.
the governor of New York,
Oh.
governor of New York said shut down the beaches for the summer. Shut
Yeah,
them down.
Well, you know what's going to happen?
You know what's going to
The
happen?
people that give him money to be a mayor or a governor, whichever he wants to be that day,
Right.
they're going to tell him, look, if you still want to get your special bonuses, you're not going to shut down the beaches.
Right.
Money
We're
talks.
telling you, that's right. We're telling you right now, you are not going to shut down the beaches.
People are
Well, they're gonna try to shut down the beaches
say-
because the
they say a
government
lot of
overreach
things.
is out of control.
Look,
The government overreach is out of control. They've got people running scared, stupid, in their cars by themselves wearing a goddamn mask.
All right, Keith, calm down.
But no, they're in their car alone wearing a mask.
Haven't you ever been in your car alone and sang to yourself?
Okay, but I'm not talking about singing to yourself. That's not going to stop you from getting a virus.
That's-
It could.
Either is it. How do you sit in your car alone and wear a
I
mask?
mean, it's.
What
You know, I
sense?
get out of.
But
the
what,
first
did you
thing I
understand the
do-
level of stupidity
First
here?
thing I do when I get out of at a patient's house, I take that mask off because I'm it's open air. I go into my car. go to the next patient.
Yeah.
I'll put the mask on. Well, because I have to, because that's the rules with the VNA. But I'm not going to wear a mask in my house. I'm not going to wear a mask
In your car?
in my car.
Why?
What reason should I wear a mask in
Could
my
you
car?
tell these dumbfounded idiots why you don't wear a mask alone in your car?
Who am I going to get the virus from?
That's what he's saying.
That's,
What the shit?
I mean, this is why
Turditor.
my saying was really, I think that saying, when I started the saying you can't fix stupid years and years ago.
Really?
And it was about New London, but this has blossomed. And then a friend brought me one of those wooden hang up signs, and it said you can't fix stupid. So we've got to be. You really do have to be smarter about this. I mean, I think they're saying that if you start this up too soon, it's going to be coming back in the fall or the winter. And so, it's a virus. When do you get the flu? You get the flu, what, in October through April. Oh, and by the way, because of the cold weather, Connecticut has been really cold this year. So how is global warming working out for you? This is so stupid. If you would also realized about the Earth has had almost zero pollution, especially over China, because they were closed. The factory was closed, and everything is looking good. Now, how many days in April did we go over 50 degrees? Not a handful. It was 32 degrees, and I had frost on my windshield this morning. Come on. This is supposed to, why is spring started March 21st when it's definitely not spring? So I know that we have, I don't believe in global warming. I believe in cycles, because this has happened many, many times before. This is another situation that governments have been throwing on us for years and years and years. So, I mean, especially like people like Leonardo DiCaprio with all this global warming, he doesn't. What does he do? He gets in his jet, he gets in his jet and flies all over the place. So, I mean, come on, can't people even think properly?
Obviously
it's amazing.
not.
I guess not. I mean, I'm not saying that we're the smartest people in the world. Obviously, we're not. If we were, we wouldn't be sitting in doing a radio show like this. We would be in our multi-gazillion-dollar condominiums like Nancy Pelosi, telling everybody eating our $1 million ice cream bars.
And tell them to get off our property.
There you go. There you go.
I look at all these people that are, especially on the Democratic side. But don't get me wrong. I mean, we got some pretty idiots for Republicans too in our country.
We do.
And when you think about what our president has done in the amount of time he's been president, with hardly anybody backing him except for us, except for the people out there that voted for him. We're his backbone. He knows that we're there for him, and he has nothing to gain by being president. The only thing he may have to gain a little bit maybe is an ego. And I know some of you out there think he has a tremendous ego. And I'm to be honest with you, I'm glad he does, because he has brought so much more to this country. We have lost so much up to this point, and he's bringing it back. He's bringing it back for people of other countries that always look down on us. They would rather just basically piss on us than to look at us. He's showed them that, you mess with us, we're going to mess back. And he's not fooling around. And that's what the people in this country want. Except for you snowflakes out there that think if you be nice to someone that would rather chop your head off, if you're nice to them, they'll say, "Oh, I guess I won't chop your head off today."
Oh, more bees with honey.
Did you see that picture on our Facebook page of the Jewish people getting off the train for the concentration camp?
No.
Okay, imagine this photo. It shows a train. It's in black and white. There's a bunch of Jewish people on the train. Okay. And the Nazi guys are standing outside the train. They're saying, "Just do what you're told. Don't be selfish. It's for everyone's safety. Stop being paranoid."
Nice.
Do you know what's also...
Look on the screen.
I know. Well, because I'm very, very, very familiar with this.
Just
whole
do what you're
situation.
told. Don't be selfish. Wear
Right.
that mask.
Right.
Okay, it's for everyone's safety. Stop being paranoid.
Go ahead,
You
Eric.
know what what I don't understand? There are more Jews in New York City than there are in Israel.
Is that true?
It's true. Why are the Jews Democrats voting for these idiots
I don't-
that are anti-Semitic? And it's amazing because people like Chuck Schumer and Rob Emanuel, who are Jewish, and they're against the Israeli people.
How
They're
would
against
you?
the Jews.
How would you know that? Go ahead. Tell them how you know that.
I know that. Well, I know one because it's been reported. Second of all, because I'm Jewish. But it bothers me to no end.
You're Jewish?
Yeah.
Yes. So
He was checking to see if he's circumcised.
so
Oh my god! Cannot believe
Yeah.
you just said that.
that's okay. The the situation it's amazing and that these people and I have a lot of good friends who are Jewish. One lives a couple houses from me. That he says the same. He can't be. He says, and I go up to him and say, "What is wrong with the Jews in this country?" He said, "They're stupid. That they vote." And then one thing Jews are not are stupid, but for how they do their politics is unbelievable because the Democrats just want to go back to destroy all of us. They would love us if we were still in the Holocaust times and put us into the concentration camps.
Because they have power.
Because they have, and that's what do they always say? Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So,
But there's a big difference in this country as compared to what Keith was saying about the Jews and the Nazis and all that, is that I was told this by a teacher when I was in 7th grade. The reason we don't get invaded as a country is because mostly everybody has a gun in their house and they're not giving them up. So these idiots out there that claim, well, we need to give up the guns in order for us to be safe, as they tell their bodyguards, I'm going to buy you a new gun next Christmas.
yeah, there you go.
You know, it's crazy.
It-
So I don't know why these people go down this path. This is something that I don't ever see is going to happen. People are not going to give it up.
No, there'll be anarchy before
Oh,
people give up
shit,
their. And I really believe, and I've said this before too, that there will be another civil war in this country, but it's not going to be the North against the South. It's going to be the right against the left. And when you've got
It already is.
well, when you've got idiots like AOC, how this dumbass got elected is so far beyond me. What school did she go to? She didn't go to Brown. She went to University. She went to
She went to Bartenders Academy.
but she can't even get a bartender job anymore.
That's because she signed in as a Democrat.
well, I heard the bar went under. So I mean, she comes out with the most stupid statements. She saved $6 billion by not having Amazon go into her district.
She didn't save anything.
She believes she did.
Well,
That's what I'm
So what's
saying.
that say about-
She is so stupid, and people voted for her. But from what I understand, is they didn't understand what they were voting for. That I don't think she's going to get reelected.
I think the Democratic Party is going to get rid of her. I already heard that they want to do away with her district in order to get rid of her. Because
well, they're going.
The
They
old-time
want her to run
Democrat-
for Schumer's
who's
seat.
they?
A
They
lot
already
of the
have-
Democrats want her to run for Schumer's seat.
I don't know the woman's name, but there's a woman out there, a Democrat, that's running against her. And I believe there's a Republican that's going to be
There
running
is.
against
There
her.
is.
Oh,
And the guy that she
But
took the
what's that-
seat
wait a
from
minute.
is running.
what's that say? This is the problem I have, Eric, is what's this tell you about the people that elect these people into office? What are they thinking? Is most of it because people are too lazy to go vote or don't understand what they're voting about, or there's so many people in some districts that don't understand English that they don't vote? I mean,
No,
in your
well,
right mind, I mean, think about this for a minute. When I was growing up as a kid, the Democrats then were a whole different class of Democrats. They were for the country. There wasn't all this
They were Kennedy
stuff that's going out
Democrats.
like this now. Even before that, but it's Why would you vote for someone that will spend 3 years of your hard-earned taxes and do nothing except try to get one person out of office? You name me something that they've done.
You can't. That's why Trump has been so popular, because he is not your normal politician. He's a businessman. He got where he is. Okay, you want to argue how he got there with part of his father's money, but he did a lot on his own.
Oh, okay. So his
All right?
father gave
So-
him $1 million.
but- Okay, whatever he gave him, though, he made his fortunes. He's done a lot. He's a businessman. He
That-
knows how to make money. He knows, and he's lost a lot of money. What do these politicians know? Nothing. They've never
been
run
in
a
office.
business before.
They've been in office too long to know anything.
That's why we need term limits.
That's why we need more business people
We do.
running this
We
country.
definitely need more business.
And
Get
this
rid
is-
of these idiots like Pelosi and well, look where Harry Reid ended up. Harry Reid, I think he was from Texas. He walks out of that place with $100 million.
Yeah.
How do you make $100 million with the salary being for a senator 170 what? 171,000.
You sell your soul. That's
It's
what you do. You sell your
lobbyists.
soul.
They're paying everything. It's just the man. All this money should be taken away. Everything. Look at
By the way, I've been posting it on the chat room.
Which one?
860-626-5193. 860-626-5193 is the studio number to call in and interact with these guys.
Thank
Any
you.
opinions?
And I'm
that
working
you
on
have?
posting the number on top of the screen. So
You know,
Thank
folks,
Thank you.
this is, like I was saying, in case you came in on this a little late, this is the first time for me and Eric to be doing this venue of a show. It's different, but not all that different. And sometimes we ramble on and we go in a lot of different directions.
I
We try not to do that, but stuff pops in our head, and we want to get it out, and we want to hear from you too, also, because you're the people out there. You're the ones that sometimes ground us into like one subject. You might not like what you hear, but we might not like what we hear either. But
like what
become part of our
Regar-
team.
regarding what you had said about how do they vote that way, and people don't, they may not vote. Well, a great example in New London, we have a huge Hispanic population in New London, and a lot of them, they're nice people. Don't get me wrong, but a lot
Let's
of
get
them,
past that. About
well,
how nice
because
they
a lot of them are
They are nice.
They are, but they're ignorant when it comes to voting, and
They're not ignorant in a bad way.
not in a bad way, no. But a lot of them also do not speak English.
No.
So the politicians here, which is turning this whole city council is turning. It's turning to be what, Hispanic, basically.
Yeah.
Well, in order for them to get elected, they go to the Hispanic population, and they put them on the buses, and they tell them how to vote. And the Spanish population, who they just don't know any different, and they're certainly not going to vote against their quote-unquote people, and that's how they get in.
All right, folks, you mark my words on this. Remember, you heard it from Dennis on Talk Talk and this guy's show over here. One day in the city of New London, probably before I leave to go other places in life, you're going to see New London become predominantly Hispanic.
It will be.
I do not mean that in any way disrespectful. It's just the way things are. It's just the way life is. It's happened in this town before. You went from religiously Protestants to Catholics to whatever.
It was very dominant Jewish too.
And
down
then
in the
at one
6th
time,
district.
you're right. At one time it was Jewish, and then it was Italians, and then it was. Trying to think of right. See, I have an issue saying African American. I'm sorry, but I do. Black folks in the city of London, and they all grew. And as they grew, they started, going along with things to get voted. And as they got voted into office, and their population grew, then more got voted in. But I'll tell you one thing that's happening with the Hispanic community is that they're growing much faster, and they're outpacing every other nationality in this city.
Right.
And one day they're going to be in a position to where they're going to hold all the votes, because New London, if you get 2,000 people to go to an election, you're doing good. But they're going to get them. They're going to turn on the very people that helped them get in office, And they're going to go to their own people and say, you need to vote for us. We don't want to vote you to vote for them anymore because they're not going to help us. They're not going to help our people. We need you so we can help our own people.
Wow.
And that's what's going to happen. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Our people?
Yes, our people.
The problem also with New London
Mike.
is that
What?
New London, yes, used to be predominantly white, and we're mixed now. It doesn't really matter, but the white population in New London is a minority now.
Yeah.
It's predominantly American of African descent. Because I agree with you, I can argue that African American is definitely a wrong term, because most of the people who are black have no idea where they came from. So, and I've proved this every time. And then
This is getting real racist here.
and the Hispanic
I'm going to get called a
people
racist again.
That's okay. I got
the
called
Hispanics
one.
are
Not a big
are
deal.
a very large population. So, which, you know what? If that's what it is, that's what it is. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It doesn't mean that they're going to go out and shoot other
no,
races.
I don't, right.
It's just, you
Wow.
you got to realize that the way things go. Okay, for instance, at one time in this country, each nationality was at the bottom of the totem pole. Each one. When the Irish came here, they were like the bottom, and they had to scrape. They had to do whatever they could do to survive. And as they started to grow as a group, they started to get in positions like policemen and politicians. And then they got to the point of where the next thing you knew, you had boatloads of Italians coming here. And the Irish didn't want them here. The Irish would be on the piers, some of them, waiting to beat the hell out of them to tell them to go back home. They didn't want them
Right.
here because they were taking their jobs. And that's a lot of what it is. They take people's jobs. Now, it's not their fault that they do. They're looking for something better in life. So the Italians come here. They end up getting their asses kicked and everything else until they had some
The next
yeah, but they
people
also
came.
they also brought their own protection groups into the country.
Well, yeah, the Russians
and then
the Polish
who
came.
was it? Who was it after the Italians? What do we want to say? Probably the blacks.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing a cat in the studio,
It's a cat in the studio.
there is a cat in the studio.
so,
Beautiful cat.
Yeah, but
So I apologize
That's
for all the
okay.
meowing.
No apologizing.
But that's no, Dennis. You're right.
That's gonna be
And
another
it's-
show,
it do-
folks,
It
of
doesn't.
animals.
It doesn't. I don't care that there's a mix of people. I'm
There's-
not. I'm not a racist, and I don't mind any of the people here. If I did, I wouldn't be in the field that I am, and I treat everybody.
Let me
But-
tell you something. They really don't care how you mind. They
you're
don't
probably-
care
you're right.
if you like them or not.
That's probably
Just
true.
like I don't care if they like me or not. I want them to like me. And I'm sure after a show like this, there's going to be a lot more that don't. But I'm just
I don't think
stating,
we're going to
I
see
am
him at
just-
Stop and Shop.
you never know. How can you
You're
tell?
on-
Everybody's wearing a mask. You don't know who they. I could go into a bank with this mask on and say, "I want all your money," and they go say, "Oh, cut it out."
No, but this is just like Atlantic Broadband. We haven't gotten phone calls. We don't know how many
Yeah.
people are watching this show. So thanks to our three
And it's
people
getting
who are watching this show.
it's getting
You guys
close
have
to
a
the
problem
end.
with that statement.
What?
I know how many people are watching.
Yes.
Oh, how many
Folks, in
people are
case you're
watching?
wondering, we only got about another
A couple
7
minutes,
minutes. Just to give you an idea, next week we're not sure if we're going to be on Tuesday or Thursday. Be one or the other, or maybe both for a while. So tune back in. Don't go nowhere yet, but tune back in. And this whole thing here. If you could see what the inside of this place looks like, this is all Keith Much and his wife Melissa's creation in here.
It's amazing in here.
And we need stuff like this. This to me is like sitting at a mic at WCNI, and the last of the college.
WCNI. What about the movie Pump Up the Volume?
Well, I don't know about that one. I wasn't
You never
there.
seen Pump Up the Volume?
No, I've
No.
never seen
You need, right now, when you leave here, go to Walmart with your mask on. Obey or die. Obey. You must
Obey.
obey. You need to find the movie Pump Up the Volume. Until you see that movie.
Who was in that movie?
Weird Al Yankovic.
No. No, that was UHF. You need to understand what you have right here.
I know.
No, you don't know.
No, yes, I do.
No, you do
I
not.
do too.
Until you
You're not
see
my father.
until you see the movie Pump Up the Volume. You have no idea what you have right here where you're sitting.
What we have here and what we have at the Connecticut College radio station, which is all music,
But
every kind of wait a minute, every kind of music you can imagine. What it is it's free radio.
No, it's not free.
well-
Is there a committee? Is there a committee?
Why? What do you mean a committee?
Committee. Oh, yes, there's a committee. If you say anything of the 7-person panel committee that doesn't approve of, you're off the air. You're gone.
This one
You
too?
are gone.
This one too?
No.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Now, it only takes me to
are you
approve
laughing
what you're
at?
saying. It only takes me. And I'm pretty open-minded. What's the chances of 7 people being open-minded?
Well, in New London, nothing, because
Nothing.
if we said
Nothing.
in front of a city council what we were saying tonight, they wouldn't give us
The
the 3
platform-
minutes to talk.
They
the
tell
pla-
us your time is up.
The
That's
platform, the platform you have here. I'm sorry, I'm not on camera. The platform you have here has an infinity of open-mindedness. Sorry.
That's all right. No problem.
So anyways,
If one of those 8 people or 7 people or even 5 people of the committee on I'll be all right, on that college radio station disapproves of what you're saying, you are done.
no.
You are done.
No, Keith, you're wrong. You're wrong.
It's a good
I know,
thing I'm in
I've
the
know,
middle.
I've known people from that station. I've had them on my show before. It's the last free, open. Only thing you have to do on that station is to warn people if you're going to get rude on a song or something. If the song's coming up and there's
Yeah.
words in there you don't.
It's called Harbor Hours.
But that's small compared to what they give you. Just like with you don't have that stigma right now. You can say and do
because
pretty
I
much whatever you want.
don't like
But then
anything.
again-
I don't like anything that has a government overreach. FM radio, where it requires an FCC license, has a government overreach. For example, I am a let me I might get myself on camera here. I am a licensed ham radio operator. Okay. As a licensed ham radio operator, there are FCC rules set into place. The FCC rules say that I cannot advertise anything that is commercial. It says that I cannot say the F word. I can't drop the F-bomb because not only will I get fined, but the individuals who own the repeater will get fined. Okay? Up to $50,000 or 5 years in prison.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay?
All right.
But,
I want to say something when you get done here.
okay? The FCC has overreach on college radio stations, on any licensed FM radio station. The political overreach is outstanding. So if you start getting into things and start talking about things like we're talking on here, you're gonna get your throat slit. You're gonna get slaughtered. One way or the other, someone has the ability to shut you down.
All right. So let me ask you a question. You said you can't say the F word.
Oh, and you can't talk about religion. I can't talk about how I feel about God. I can't say that I have
You mean to tell me?
faith.
You mean to tell me that me and Eric we can't talk about how we feel about God on this?
Oh,
station?
on here you can.
Oh.
On here you can.
He's saying on.
On ham radio, on a licensed radio system,
well, yeah,
I
but-
cannot talk about my faith.
But that's not what we're talking about here. But that's another whole
But-
that's another whole thing.
But you're right. That is a whole other thing. But what I'm saying is that on licensed radio systems, there is an overreach. There is a panel
No, yeah.
of individuals
Yeah, I
that
know
can
that.
tell you to shut your mouth.
I know that.
On here, they
I
can't.
was trying to say that between WCNI and your radio stations, you have the ability to be more flexible. Is all I was trying to, and that's a dying art in this country.
On CNI, you might be able to bend over backwards just a little bit. Here on United FM radio, we can do flat backflips until you're dizzy.
Okay, but let me
on
ask-
CNI, you can bend back just a little bit.
We got a couple more minutes. I
We
want
got more than a couple more minutes. We can
Well-
go on till midnight if we wanted to.
No, we can't.
Dennis can't.
So
I'm just saying
you
on
said, I know, but
on
wait a minute.
licensed radio, you can be restricted. Somebody could snowflake on you and shut your show down.
I know that. I understand that. Okay, so you said a minute ago that you can't say, you can hear, but you can't say the F word in a lot of places, right?
Right.
Now,
you can say
wait,
fuck.
wait a minute. Now, what if they changed the word to
Fudge.
Fire truck.
fudge, and people started using, instead of saying the F word, they were using fudge in place of that word? Would fudge all of a sudden become a word you could not speak?
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Well, I
weird.
wanted to know.
Anyway,
I will never say
can't-
fudge
this
again.
is-
I can't get on ham radio and say fudge that. I can't. Because some snowflake will bug out on me.
All right.
All right, so-
go ahead.
this has been interesting,
Yes, it has.
and we will come back. I hope people liked us. I don't
We'll
know.
just come
and
back whether
if
they like it
do,
or
and
not.
We're going to come back with different subjects, and obviously, it's still going to be a lot of national. And you and
gonna
I
be
do
everything.
local. It could be everything, and because there's just so many people.
I'm gonna,
I get really upset about.
I want to
so
leave
do
you with
so.
a parting thought. A parting thought.
Parting
Flish.
thought.
Oh, we're 1 minute overtime.
Okay, that's okay. I know the owner. I did some research, and I found that the states that have the most virus going on now, where people are
I know where you're
are
coming
in
from.
trouble.
Yes,
is run by Democrats.
absolutely, absolutely true.
Does that not tell you anything? Have you ever heard of the word comma?
Communist.
That's all I got to say. No,
All
not
right.
comma.
Thank you, folks.
Thank
this
you,
has
everybody.
been very interesting, and I hope you enjoyed it. And
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Let us know what. Yes, definitely.
And
Let
it
us
is
know
definitely
going to
go up from here. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye, everybody. Wave. Wave. Come on, doing your... Come on.
We're going to hear some good music next time.
Oh, yeah. During our next sign-off, I will be playing a White Man Down video.
Great new band. Great new band.
We are out of here.
They've sold something like 160 million copies.
Say
no,
bye.
not really. I'm
Yeah,
lying.
you're still
Bye.
poor.
Say bye.
Bye.
Wave. Wave. Everyone wave. Wave. Wave.